Welcome to AltJake Takes On. And here's AltJake.
Hello again, everybody. This is AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On, episode number 14. Wow, we're just running right through them. And how you doing today, my friend George?
Good. Tremendous.
Good. I just realized, this is the episode number 14 for the recorded ones. And then last night we did our 10th episode of Spaces already. So just moving right along. I do want to thank everybody who came out to the Spaces last night where, well, it was a kind of different style of there was no guest and we just kind of had a free-for-all. But it was fun. Everybody was respectful. They muted themselves. They weren't speaking. If they had sound issues, and for the most part. There was a couple people with sound issues. They left, came back, made it work. Like that was fun. It didn't devolve into screaming and yelling at each other and, bitch fests and whining and that kind of stuff. So, and then next week we'll have Johnny Bottles on the show.
Just so people know, MJ came in late.
MJ with the run in.
And I wish he would have came in earlier, but he's booked in June.
I was going to say he's somebody that we've wanted to have on for a full show for a while.
Tough to nail.
But he's a busy guy. No, it was great. He came in and helped us solidify what we were talking about with Kyle Fletcher. We knew he had beaten Ospreay once, but we knew Ospreay had beaten him once, but we wasn't sure the exact amount. So he gave us that, and then a lot of great details and information about their ratings and pretty much all the metrics for AEW are sadly trending in the wrong direction. So if you want to hear that video is up. The full episode is up on our YouTube. Please check it out. Give us a like, give us some comments. We're very receptive to feedback. It's who we are. It's what we're all about for sure. So
yeah. So the programming note, like you said, Johnny Bottles is this coming Sunday, next week. And we have a lot of stuff cooking. So you're going to see a lot of stuff happening quick without giving too much away. So
you're right. Yeah. Tease them. Yeah, no, it's exciting because we've got, as we're growing, we've got more that we want to get involved with and do. So please, if you haven't, please subscribe, share it with your friends, bring them along to the Spaces. The more people that we have, the more engagement that we get, the more we can do this. We want to keep producing, giving as much content as we can. And God knows we've got a lot to talk about. So I guess we'll just get right into it here. We kind of wanted to go into the weekend that was in professional wrestling, and we might as well just start where we start on Saturday night's main event. On NBC and Peacock, Jesse the Body Ventura showing up and having fun as well. Overall, I thought it was a great show for what it was. Nothing too unexpected, minus a couple of small things that we'll get into as we review the card. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid show, especially for what it needed to be. I don't know why. Sometimes people, I feel like, maybe expect too much from the shows. I don't really know.
Yeah, I've mentioned this a couple times now. You have to realize Saturday night's main events were meant to be and seem to be always to be a glorified house show.
Right.
A house show with just a little bit extra kicked in at the end, like we saw, and just matches that keep the stories going and everyone's happy.
Yeah, I think
always
I think
what
happened. Yeah, and I feel like what the problem is, kind of like you said it before, where people look at it like it's going to be a pay-per-view PLE type event, and it really isn't. And for the people that don't know the history, initially it was Saturday Night Live would run on Saturdays, obviously, and when they weren't on, there was reruns of Johnny Carson on at those times. Johnny Carson, as he got a little older, he wanted to do less episodes and only work 3 or 4 days a week, and he was needing more reruns, so they didn't want to waste them on Saturday nights, and that's where the opportunity to have something that filled in. But that was late night. Saturday Night Live runs on at 11:30 to 1 a.m., and that's where the initial episodes of Saturday night's main event ran. And that's why if you rewatch a replay on Peacock or whatever, there's usually an opening match or something to kind of get the crowd going or whet the appetite a bit. But then the main event is usually that between 11:45 and midnight time. So it's early on in the show, and I feel like people don't. And I don't really remember exactly how the revival worked in 2005 or 6 or whenever they did it, but I always knew it as this way, where it was just more of a glorified big show. It's more, I feel like, for casual fans to try to entice them to get into this stuff. That's why it's usually there's a lot of video packages, a lot of commercials, a lot of hype around it to bring people in, and that's why it's on network television. I don't know. I feel
that's how it started that way, and it's always been the same. If you, like I said, I think I mentioned to you yesterday on the Spaces show that all the episodes of Saturday Night's Main Event were all taped in advance.
Yeah, and that I didn't know. I didn't realize
in advance most of the time.
I did not realize that. I didn't know they were. I knew they sometimes had done a couple in advance, obviously, but I didn't, or a couple of days in advance. I didn't realize it was even sometimes weeks in advance. But that's that's the world where not everybody had. There was very few people that were tuned into the dirt sheets. You didn't have nearly as there was no internet. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's just kind of crazy to think about that they were able to pull that off, especially for some of those shows that did have big angles. And that was the thing, is there was always something that would happen on those shows, but it wasn't normally like a title change or a major match. It was normally something, like Bronson Reed returning. We could just kind of get into that because that was the opening match.
Let me finish up my thing here.
Sorry.
when I looked them up, the closest one I could find to the actual Saturday night's taping was 3 days away, or 2 or 3 days away. That was the closest. The furthest one out was like a month, 3-4 weeks. A lot of them are 3-4 weeks prior tape. So which makes sense. No, it does. It's just not. Yeah, and especially for when you're trying to make sure they can edit it to fit in that 90-minute time window, and then knowing they're going to have more commercials because it's a weekend on network television. That's kind of how that works. And so, yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense of why they do it that way. I just feel like sometimes, unfortunately, with the, internet wrestling community, you get people that are automatically wanting to complain or find the wrong with it. And, they're expecting too much out of it. It's kind of like it's not going to happen. It's not
going to happen. Same with the people that are complaining that, I'm not feeling it like I was, like I was going into WrestleMania. Like, of course you weren't. The Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, that's like the playoffs. Of course, that's the most exciting time for it. There's just no off season, so they kind of have to reset and move forward and build things up. And if you're a long time enough wrestling fan, you should be able to see the seeds they're planted to get kind of building, which can lead into the return of Bronson Reed, which I thought was done very well. I thought it was fun. Not to toot my own horn, but this is something that we called on this show back when we did our it was the Raw After Mania review that we did the run-in show there. Because for me, the whole reason I wanted Reed to be included, or someone like Reed, is that everyone kept comparing Braun Breaker to Evolution and Batista, and he's the Randy Orton to me. He's a second generation wrestler. He's the total package. Yes, he's big, he's muscular, he's a beast, but he's not just the muscle. He's not muscle for hire, which is what Bronson can be. So I'm really excited to see what this happens and how this leads to Breaker eventually breaking out of the group when, hopefully not to at least another, 6 months to a year from now, if not longer. But this is all for him. They're putting the spotlight on Seth, but let's be real. Braun being able to travel with Seth and hang out with Paul Heyman and pick his brain as often as he wants to is pretty much the greatest thing that could happen to his career, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. I was with you on Bronson Reed. I just didn't think he'd be back that soon.
That's,
you remember I said he shattered both his feet.
I think it was just one that shattered, but I'm not sure.
He fucked them up. He messed them both up. And I'm like, there's no way. I agree with you 100% he'd be in there, but I didn't think it'd be that quick. Good for him.
And I'm wondering if maybe he's not cleared for matches yet. Like, he can just kind of hit a few moves, not actually have to do too much, but be that menacing, being part of it. So it'll be interesting to see.
If he did his thing in the ring, he's cleared because they won't let him go in there anymore. Like,
a valid point, especially that you're right. It's hard to sometimes remember that we are in this whole new world, and you hear it from fans a lot of times where they automatically revert to, they've always done this, they've always done that. We're in a new world now. It's a new regime. We've got to the benefit where we see some great things sometimes, and to the detriment sometimes where TKO has made certain business decisions that we don't all agree with. But in the end, at least for this match, I thought it was a great a great way to bring him. Yeah, and a great opener. Oh my God, that crowd was hot. Punk is getting some insane pops lately.
Yeah, where'd that all of a sudden come from?
Right. I mean, he was always getting big ones, but the last couple have been massive.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I noticed it Saturday with you. I'm like, where'd this all of a sudden come from?
Because it was the one I noticed was Raw. Was on Raw where you knew he was going to be the one to come out with Sammy, and obviously the crowd knew it. They were chanting for him, and you expected a big pop there. But even like I rewound like 2 or 3 times on Netflix, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was that loud. Good for him. I mean, he's of anybody, he's probably the most authentic and genuine person out there. Like who he is on screen really is who he is, and that connects. And there's probably nobody better on the mic right now either in the world of professional wrestling. When he cuts his promos, they've been fire. So it makes sense. It's just cool to see, and you wonder if maybe they pivot and maybe he'll be the one to take it off of John Cena before the end of the year. We'll see. It's cool. I'm very, very interested. And then with this storyline, clearly this is going to continue, and you wonder if maybe Punk and Sammy need to get a third to join them now, which there's a lot of opportunities of who that could be as well. I didn't think about that until just now.
We may find out tonight.
Right?
Oh, we're recording on a Monday, by the way.
Yeah, and I should be able to get this out either right before or during Raw. So this will post on Monday. So then I don't, the match order, I think it was the next one was it the women's match that was next? I think it was Zelina and Chelsea Green, which
I zoned out.
Yeah, I mean that one was what it was going to be, and that match was kind of put in that spot. No matter who was going to follow, not only just the excitement of Sammy, Punk, Rollins, and Breaker, but you knew it was going to be a great match. And then you had the big moment for the return of Bronson Reed. It was going to be a tough spot to fill, and it was kind of what I expected that Zelina was going to retain. You know, I
don't understand why she has the title. I'll be honest with you.
So
why they took it off of Chelsea to begin with, I have no idea.
So, and I'm not sure if I said it on this show or maybe with Phil or maybe in a Spaces, I forget. But the only reason that I can think of it is to kind of further Chelsea to almost maybe make her a baby face in the sense where she's going to lose everything and then turn it around. I'm not quite sure though, because I would have thought there would have been more, drama with the Secret Service at this point. I'm not quite sure. I thought that was going to lead into Chelsea then either winning Money in the Bank or something in that sense, but I mean, Money in the Bank's 2 weeks away, so I think I was still off on that one. But I'm not really sure either on this one.
Yeah, I don't see. She's very attractive. She has. That's it.
Yeah, well, and I mean,
not very good in the ring. She broke Chelsea's nose.
Yeah, she's not the best in the ring. She's got a good charisma. I mean, and you hate to say it because it sounds misogynistic, but her best role was when she was Andrade's manager. She was awesome in that position. She was a great heel. She was a great heel bitch valet manager. Which honestly, we've talked about it multiple times. Both of us are big fans of managers, valets, seconds in wrestling. Like you need more of that. And when you have someone who's good at it, like she should be doing that, especially, hope like I think Kathy Kelly's supposedly getting trained to do that as well. That'd be a great thing for them to feud with each other. It'd be fun.
She really did rearrange Chelsea's face.
She did. I saw Matt Cardona's not her beautiful nose tweet. Yeah. But credit again to Chelsea Green for being awesome with it. She sold that so well. She immediately used that to her advantage, being able to, with the shots of her screaming and yelling on Twitter, she was posting about it a bunch. Like she's, as I always call her, she's the queen of minute maximization. She is. Have
you ever had your nose broken?
No, I have not. Knock on wood. Luckily, I have.
Okay, I have. Oh. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would have been continuing a match after I broke my nose, because what happens is your eyes water up. You can't feel any nasal. It's hard to describe, but if you had it happen, your nasal passages kind of just are gone, and your eyes are just like water. And so to be able to continue, I give her a ton of credit for to be able just to say something.
She's one of those tough Canadian broads, man. She's got her freaking,
oh yeah,
you know,
right. She knows.
Yeah, exactly. Right. She's got that hockey, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her. I mean, have you ever seen? I didn't watch a ton of Lucha Underground. I mean to. It's one of those. Maybe on Patreon, I'll do a rewatch and do something there one day or something because I do want to see all of it. But I've seen clips and then I watched the whole match of her versus Penta. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh man. I'm not big on intergender matches. That one's pretty fun, and she takes a beating. She kicks ass in it. Like you have to suspend disbelief. But that's what Lucha Underground was. It was a TV show, not just.
Well, she's also
she's a tough girl.
She's a woman of size, which is not.
She does, yeah.
Mean at all.
No. But she's not like one of the 5'2". You know, she's 5'6", 5'7", 5'8".
Got some meat on her bones, as we used to say.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I for whatever is happening with it, I hope it just continues to elevate her. But I don't see any way they don't, because they've got, I mean, everybody in creative and Triple H especially, you can see they respect her. They love what she's doing. I mean, there's no way. I mean, she just renewed her contract recently. I saw the post about it. Like, she's incredible at what she does, and honestly, will be an amazing. Maybe not. I mean, she's good at ring, but maybe not so much as an in-ring coach. But she should be the one teaching people like how to, maybe not promo class, but like how to get the most out of your shit class. I just feel like she's amazing, and I feel like that. Ren Sinclair down in NXT is like Chelsea Green 2.0. I can't sing her praises high enough. I mean, I'm not quite to the level where Evil Dose is, where she's his favorite wrestler, period, which I think is awesome, but she's definitely in my top 5. When she's on my screen, I'm not flipping the channel. I'm not turning away. She's awesome.
She has a lot of fun. I'll give her that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then, yeah. So was the, I think the next one was it Jay and, did it go with, I know it was Cena and Cena. It was either Cena and Truth or the cage match. I kind of forget the orders because what is what it is. But I think it was Cena and Truth because people were still enjoying that because people did not like that cage match ending. But we can talk about Cena and Truth. It was what it was. I expect basically exactly what I expected it to be. It was fun, but nothing that out of the ordinary until, which I didn't quite expect, was Cody.
See, our whole panel picked R-Truth to win this match by.
Now I would have thought that he would have won. It would have. I just expected Cena to still retain with it, but I didn't expect. Cody came back at the end. My bad, I got that wrong. But I just didn't see Cena losing unless it would have been by DQ. But I mean, I think R-Truth can still go. It was great for what it was, but I'm not that surprised by any of it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was just gonna say it was fun for what it was. It was sports entertaining. The cage match, I feel like what comes out of the cage match is more Jesse Ventura than anything else. I feel like everything I've seen of the highlights was him screaming about the rules and the door and not understanding. He just walked out of the door. You can't do that. I don't know.
I didn't hear him because we were on, so I didn't.
Right. I was just about to say, I'm like, because I know when I'm on doing a watch along, I will sometimes hear the commentary. I put on the closed caption so I can try to see. But yeah, usually if I want to, and if I'm watching a show, doing a watch along, and then we're going to review it later, I have to go back and rewatch it and kind of absorb everything, especially on the commentary. You don't really catch on that. But yeah, he was screaming about how Priest was a coward for walking out the door. He should have went over the top. And
that
was what it was.
Hit the ground.
I think I'm surprised that people were surprised that Damian won the match simply just because Drew won the match at Mania. I feel like if Drew won this match, that's kind of the end of Priest. But we've talked about Priest plenty of times where there needs to be something. There needs to be some sort of change, some sort of growth. I still think it's getting further away from the goth and the spookiness of it, but unfortunately he came out Saturday with the Undertaker style bat wing things, and yeah, I don't know. I've never been that big into the goth spooky stuff myself, but
they tried something here a little bit because people mentioned it yesterday Dee mentioned it, that she liked what they did with him. So maybe they're trying.
Like I said, one of my best friends in the world lives in London, and literally Priest is his favorite guy, and he talks about him all the time. And so there is a connection there. He's got a good charisma. I just think it needs to be presented just a little differently, not even completely differently, but just that's what I was thinking. Maybe kind of go to more of a biker badass type character or something in that, and just less leather, less guy liner and less of the spooky stuff. I think would help, but.
I enjoyed it. It was a good, decent game.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the match. It was pretty much what I expected it to be. It does seem like Drew might be going to film a movie or something. I've heard some people saying, and it seemed like they kind of had him leave. Like he left on his own accord, but he was out of it, and that might be a way to write him off. And then it'll be interesting to see if they do that, and then when he comes back and how he comes back, because Drew knows how to do that pretty much better than anyone. So then kind of leads into the main event of Jay and Logan Paul, which was what it was, kind of what I expected it to be for sure. And John, that's where I got confused because John Cena came out, pulled out the referee of that match so that Cody could return and save Jey Uso, which I did. I know people were expecting Cody to return on SmackDown, and then I saw a lot of people posting that he was going to return at Saturday Night's Main Event. I didn't think that was going to be it. I thought he was going to take a little bit longer and more time off, but I mean, he's as wrestler as you can be. So he's probably got that old mindset of, the longer I'm away, the harder it's going to be to keep my spot, or maybe they'll forget about me. So, and that was the second biggest pop of the night. We talked about CM Punk's pop. I'm not sure which one was louder or not, but those are the two big ones that stuck out to me, was Punk coming out and then Cody's return.
I'm wondering if The Office asked him to come back earlier or not.
I mean,
you could look at the top. There's the baby faces that were on the top. I mean, they need Cody back. I think that's basically what I'm trying to tell you. I think they brought him back early. That's what I'm trying to say. How's that?
No, I mean, they definitely could be. You're not wrong. I mean, it does seem. It felt rushed to me. I thought he was going to stay gone at least through. I thought maybe he would come back leading into SummerSlam, or maybe even at SummerSlam, because I feel like the last few years there's been a big return at SummerSlam. Like when Brock came back, Cena came back a couple, before. Like there's been pretty big returns at SummerSlam. So I thought maybe that could have been. That could have been the right time for him, but maybe you're right. Maybe they did rush it back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, rush him. Just kind of maybe ask him, could you come back a little earlier? Because we really could use a storyline here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and that leads into where it does lead into, that's a very massive match at Money in the Bank of Cody and Jay versus Logan Paul and Cena. And I do love how Cena just leans into this heel stuff of like, how can I be the biggest heel possible? Put R-Truth through a table. Everybody loves R-Truth. Who can I team up with that everybody hates? Logan Paul. There's the answer. It's just.
Yeah, I give John credit. He's trying to be a badass, but people.
I don't know if it's a badass. I just think
I mentioned to you before. I'm not convinced he's a bad person.
It's hard when you see those interviews.
Yeah, we all know his background. I mean, dude's a nice guy.
More Make-A-Wishes than anybody. I mean, there's that interview with pretty much every interview he's done in the last 5 years. You feel like the interview leaves that interview as a better person. Because he connects it. I mean, Chris Van Vliet talks about it all the time. So yeah, which is why it's going to be very interesting if they do turn it back and how and what they do, not only for when he leaves, but the rest of this year. It should make for at least interesting television. Whether it's good or not, we will see.
That'll be good. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and I graded. I thought Saturday Night's Main Event was a solid B, maybe even a B+ for what it should have been. It was fine.
I went C on this all the way.
Yeah. Now, a show that I said I'd give an A to, maybe almost an A+, was this
one. Battleground, we will give the star ratings on, or not the star, whatever numbers we decide to do.
Yeah, there's still star ratings at this point, but yeah.
If you want to go back and look at how we rate these, go back in our archives and look for Jim Cornette's picture, and you can read how we actually do the ratings, so you don't get confused as to how we do.
Right. Yeah, we do them how they should be done, not what they've devolved into. I won't even say evolved into, what they've devolved into for sure. Because because this was a PLE. Yeah, that's kind of what we said. We'll knock it. We'll do those for the big shows and the important ones. And we both chose Battleground in the where we gave double or nothing. We chose nothing and went with Battleground. So that's.
I think you got it labeled Jim Cornette ratings in our archives.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I think so.
Go back and watch that, and you'll see what we're doing.
Yeah, it's in a full episode, and then
it's a bonus.
Yeah,
it's a bonus.
Oh, you're right. No, there's the clip of it. Yeah, it's the one that's got the big picture of Jim Cornette on it, because we did that right after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. So
you
want to know why we're giving ratings that don't seem very high.
Yeah, no, because 4 is supposed to be basically as high as you can get. If somebody gets a 5, it's because you were literally blown away.
Oh,
as opposed to
you're spoiling it. Have them go back and listen to it. Don't spoil
it. Don't give away anything for free. It's a good point. That is a good point. All right, so what did this one start off with? Did it start off with this? Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
Which, man, so you can, because I know you haven't watched as much of NXT, which I thought was great. I mean, You're like the prime example of why they do the video package. People complain and
I was happy about that, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're great. And honestly, sometimes even as somebody who watches the shows week to week, you see like, oh yeah, that did happen. Or like, even if you watch the shows every single week, maybe you don't see every backstage segment or every little thing. And it really set it up.
I don't watch. I'm sorry, Jake. I don't watch any of the shows. So
right.
I knew everything that was going on before every match, and I was right on time. I'm perfectly timed. I knew exactly what was going on. It was awesome.
Yeah, you knew what was going on, why. Yeah, who you gave you who to root for. Yeah, no, it's done perfect. And then it's great for the talent too, because then it is a smooth transition to the main show. Like they know every little thing matters. They're gonna put that out there for it. I thought this match was a lot of fun. I was exactly what I expected it to be. Kalani Jordan is one of those people that I talked about it before with Lash Legend, where when she initially started, you could see there was athleticism and possible talent there, but it was really rough around the edges. But week to week, month to month, you can see the work being put in, and she did great for it. I knew that Sol was going to keep the title just because it seems like this is going to set up
now. Zaria's heel turn. One more time, sorry.
You're good. Interrupt me as much as you want.
Johnny comes from a gymnastic background, and so does Sol, right?
I believe so. Kalani might have some track and field background to her as well.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. Because you can tell, we've mentioned it this many times, you can tell the people that come from a sports team background.
Yes.
Because they pick up stuff and they learn as a team as opposed to an individual. There's a big difference. When you're on a team, you have a different mentality. And you can tell these people are from that background. I can tell, having coached and played hockey for years, I can tell.
Yeah, and they're more in turn to work with the person that they're literally working with, as opposed to just trying to be about themselves and only, that doesn't work for me, brother, and getting their shit in.
It's totally noticeable, Jake. It really is.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where the PC really shines with these people, that if they want to be learned and trained and coached, they can be and will be. Like I've said before about people that have come from AEW over the people that wanted to be coached. Lexus King is my prime example. He was pretty terrible in AEW, and honestly, when he started in NXT, it was pretty rough. But you can see the work that gets put in. I mean, even Joe Hendry talks about how he's working, how he does a lot of work at the PC, basically does 2 to 3 days or 4 days or more time there every single week. And he's gotten better with it. It just teaches not so much how to do the moves, it's the timing. It's, as people talk about wrestling all the time, it's the stuff in between the moves that matters. It's the pausing, it's the timing.
Also, as a former, player, just being around the guys and the girls.
Yes,
just being
that camaraderie.
Yeah, it's something, folks. It really is.
Yeah, no, you could see that a lot with the NXT people, even when they come up and go off and do their own things in on the main roster, like there's still ties to where because they kind of grew up as a team together. I mean, that's why they always had up until recently with Rhea and Damian, like the Terror Twins or whatever, because they became the best of friends and super close in that time. I mean, it's almost like, it's in the trenches with those guys. You really get to become family with it. So yeah. I thought this match was good. I would say probably, 2.25, 2.5 on it. Nothing mind blowing, but it was great. I thought the crowd was really into it. And man, Sol Ruka's finisher is top notch.
Yeah,
like there's no way that doesn't. Yeah, it really is. And it's one of those things where I feel like it's like Billy Kidman. Well, like Billy Kidman in WCW, where like you always expected that, like, how does he? And he hit it every single time. Once he got in WWE, it didn't kind of do as well. But knock on wood. But I mean, she hits it every single time, smooth, and it was clean. The only complaint I would think maybe I would have, if there is nitpicking. There were a couple times, and because they're younger and still learning, where you could see it was like clear cooperation, but that doesn't bother me as much in the younger talent because they're learning. I would rather you have that and nobody get hurt than dropping somebody on their head.
Yeah, I thought for an opener, very good opener to a show.
Yes.
Crowd.
Yeah, and I thought the crowd really,
like you said, crowd got into it. Maybe me get into it a little more, which was cool. I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's where I'm a solid 2.5 with it for sure. And like you said, it was a great way to open the crowd and get them hot, which led into the 6-man tag. Was it the Culling? The Culling versus Hank and Tank and Briggs. Yeah, there's a certain storylines I'm not as into in NXT. Like Hank and Tank are fun, but I feel like they're just like heavy machinery 2.0. I like what Spears does with the Culling. Not quite sure about everybody with it. I do think I forget her name, Izzy Dane. I think she's good. I think she's very talented. Not quite sure about the other guys in it, but that's what Sean Spears is there to do, is help kind of coach. He's a player coach. So that's kind of his job.
Yeah, this is the match where I feel that they put one in that you really don't know what's going on, and you're a little bit maybe not as talented as the rest of the people on the card. They put them in here so they get a feel for everything, and they're learning as they go, like you said. Yeah, I gave this a 2.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was saying. It was a solid 2. I thought, and honestly, I feel like the match was almost mostly for to have was it Inamura, his Briggs' tag team partner from Noah, because Briggs went over and did, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks in Japan with Noah and brought Inamura back as his tag team partner, and they really did some cool stuff. And I thought and I think they kind of even played into it storyline wise, because it seemed like WWE was going to go into a partnership with Noah, and then that kind of it fell through. They made it seem like that's why Inamura left, so having him come back was kind of a surprise.
See, that's what a Japanese wrestler looks like when he's in shape.
Yes, yeah, he is very talented. He's a very talented wrestler. I've only seen him in the few matches that he's done in NXT, but he's pretty talented for sure. Now, what was the grudge match, which was the fun one, was Tony D'Angelo versus Stax Lorenzo. Which this one has a lot of story with it, which I thought they covered pretty well in the video package. Because actually, when I first started watching NXT, was like right when the family started kind of coming into their own, and it's a little goofy, it's a little silly, it's a little over the top, but I enjoy it. It's fun, and there's something about Tony D'Angelo that just works for me. I just think that guy, he's great.
He's a lot bigger than you think he actually
is. He really is. When he had those matches with Obafemi, and it was like, oh, he's gonna get squashed, and you see him in there, you're like, no, he's a big. I mean, he's a football player. He's a big dude.
You always see him in his, like he's always in the background with his, in the scene, with his suit on and stuff. And when you see his arms, he's no slouch. He's no slouch. He looks good.
Yeah. No, or they'll do the scenes where it's like at the dinner table, or he's like at the. They're having one of the meetings in the back room, and he's always sitting and like not in the best light, which actually kind of works for him, because then he takes that shirt off and comes down. You're like, fuck, this guy's a house.
I'm very surprised in the year 2025 we have a mafia family story going on in wrestling.
Yeah,
it's great. It's hilarious to me.
It is, and it works for NXT. Like, and I really think that's why it's going the way it is, where they're breaking them up slowly to end it, is because Tony will probably go up to the main roster and they'll have to change his gimmick a bit. Like they'll always kind of refer to it or whatever, but he'll probably change it. At least, he won't be a mob boss on the main roster.
Who was the dude that came in at the end there with the suit on?
At the end
of this match, he came in with the suit, went to hug Tony, and Tony said no.
Oh, is it the other guy? I forget what is it?
I don't know his name. Either way, the last member of the family got shunned away, so I'm guessing that's the end of the family.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Maybe Tony and Rizzo will say I forget the other guy's name off the top of my head. They're Italian names. Yeah. No, but I really do. It's one of those things that it's been a good storyline for the family, but it's one of those things where it's got a Crucifino. Thank you. That's his last name. It's Crucifino. I could not think of that. I knew it started with the C. But this match was a solid 2.5 for me. It was fun. It furthered the storyline where it needed to go. And I would think that Tony will. I don't think he's long for NXT. In my opinion, he's probably going up relatively soon, which is why I think they did the releases the way they did and kind of clear up some space because they got to move some people around.
Yeah. I was surprised how much I actually enjoyed the match. The actual match itself was much better than I thought it was going to be. And these two guys work well together in the ring. I gave it a 2 3/4.
Nice. Yeah, no, I
pleasantly surprised, by the way.
I was gonna say I think that's what it was. Like this, I expected it to be good, and I got what I expected. But that's always nice, especially if you're not sure about it, and then all of a sudden you're into it. Shit, I'm getting into this one. This is fun. No, I thought it was good. What for me,
Stax is gonna be a good dude down the line.
Oh, for sure. No, and I think that's what that group was that did well with was that unlike Chase U, everybody has evolved in that family and gotten better with it, whatever they're doing. And so, it's probably a smart time to end it where it is before it wears out its welcome. Or maybe Tony goes up and Stax does his own thing and runs his own family or whatever as a storyline. They could definitely make that work. But it seems to me like it's Tony's time to get up on the main roster. And I would think there'll be a little bit more play out this week, but he could come up pretty soon. Unless they get him involved in the Worlds Collide, but we'll see.
That was very enjoyed. I enjoyed it a lot.
No, for sure. And then the next match, which was great, was the women's title match, which was awesome. Obviously, I mean, Stephanie Vaquer is incredible at this. Like, she's incredible. I've yet to see her have not even like a so-so, like not even bad match, but not even like a mid match. Like every single match that she's had has been great. Whether there's botches or any missteps, she just picks it right up, sits right through it. I thought this match was great. I don't think it was anything over the top or special, but I had it as another. I put this one as 2.5 as well.
Yeah, Stephanie Vaquer is interesting to me because, like, size-wise, she's not very big. However, with a bigger opponent such as
Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan. I was trying to tip my tongue. I forgot it. Jordan's like physically better than Stephanie.
Right, yeah, Jordan's a house.
But Stephanie held her own very nicely, and I'm surprised at that because I expected it not to be as smooth as it was. I went 2.5 on 2.5. I went on this one too. It's very enjoyable.
I think the thing with Stephanie too is she's not that tall, but she does have size to her. Like she's not like wafer thin. Like she's got her legs are pretty thick, and she does enough lucha moves to be like a luchador, but she's also got some pretty strong, powerful moves with her as well. She's been probably the biggest surprise of anything this year for me, because I mean, we all saw the one match she had with Monet, or at least clips of it in AEW and seeing highlights, but she's really taken to this well. And then when you see her in interviews and stuff that she chose to go to NXT to make sure that she was, polished and ready before she goes and gets rushed up. That's a smart move. Like I really respect people who make decisions like that.
Yeah. The only thing I would have paid $50 for last night was to be inside the Devil's Kiss. That's it.
Yeah. you Booker T, and apparently most of the audience, they were pretty loud about that. That was fun. I'm not sure when he came out because I'm going through I have like a recap in front of me, and they do have the recap of Ricky Saints, which we'll get to, but I want to at least bring up initially this where Mike Santana showed up on TV in NXT. That surprised me. I did not expect him to show up where they went back to her for the interview. You probably could have had me guess 50 people, maybe 100 that she was interviewing. Not sure if Mike would have been on my list, but
he just popped in and so he was taking on the winner of the main event.
Yeah, I think I do believe he did get the I wasn't fully caught up on TNA with my internet being out for a while, but I'm pretty sure he's the number one contender for the TNA title because they have a pay-per-view. I think June 6th, actually. I think it's here. Well, it's in Tempe. I think it's in Arizona though. But I thought that was really cool to see. You could see how much it meant to him to be on WWE television. And then they announced that he's got a match with Tavion Heights tomorrow on Tuesday. So it'll be cool to see Mike Santana in a WWE ring. I mean, he's got, I think he said 16, 17 years of this, and this is the first time he's stepped foot in WWE anything. And like we've said it plenty of times. I don't care who you are. The guys can say that WWE isn't their goal. If it's not, you're in the wrong business. It's like Dusty Rhodes told DDP, man, if you're not trying to get the title, baby, what the fuck you doing in this business? Like, you got to be. So I thought that was cool. And then they've got
Santana's one of those guys that has definitely paid his dues.
Yes. And then back to what I was saying about Stephanie Vaquer, he made the smart decision to leave AEW because obviously he, like anybody, Tony will make them an offer to stay because he wants everybody to stay basically and pay the money. But he knew that he could collect a paycheck and stay home, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to work. He wanted to further his career. He wanted to, as we hear all the time, he bet on himself, and clearly that's paying off. And obviously, I would say this is his chance to shine if he does well in these programs that are connected with NXT and WWE. I mean, similar to Joe Hendry, he could have an offer on the table when his TNA contract runs out. So good for him. I love it. For me, that was awesome to see.
It was a bonus to the night.
Yeah, it really was.
Unexpected bonus.
Yeah. And then the less unexpected, but was cool to see was they did the Ricky Saints in the ring interview when he was attacked by Ethan Page to set up their match that they're having this Tuesday on NXT. So that was cool. I still think it's funny to see.
Yeah. See what I mean by pacing the show, though?
Yes.
Like it
to give people time to breathe.
Yeah.
It's not just match after match after match after match.
Everything was going so nice. Like, you got time to go to the bathroom, you can come back and not see it. It was perfect.
And even the matches themselves were paced well. Like when they ended, you were like, "Yep, that's the finish." Yeah, like, oh, that's smart. There was a little bit of stuff in the main event, which we'll get to, but as we'll get to, like, there had to be. That was, like, that's part of the deal. But yeah, I thought it was good. I still will laugh every time when I see Ricky Saints and Ethan Page feuding in NXT, and you just think, like, how did Tony chose to push Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia?
Yep. Good for him.
Yeah, no, really. I'm happy for both of them.
So was Oba next? Oba was next.
Yes.
Right?
I was just about to say, and then we get to my favorite match of the night, because as anybody who's listened to me or seen my Twitter knows, Miles Bourne is my guy. I love this kid. I think he's talented, he's charismatic, and he's funny as hell. For me, it was that line, no, I know I look like Randy Orton, but we're totally different. He hears voices in his head, and I can't hear shit.
He's the one that's with Steph DeLander, right?
No, Stephanie Vaquer. Yeah. No, Steph DeLander's with Vance Warder. Yeah, they apparently just went public on, like, social media, but they've clearly been dating for a while because the pictures were with family on Easter. Like, you're not bringing, you know what I mean? Yeah. If they were just, like, kind of fooling around or whatever, you're not bringing family. You're not bringing that person to your family on Easter Sunday. And those were where the pictures were released. And people immediately, like, latched onto it that they were dating. And what I said was, I mean, they're photographed together. Looks like they're dating. I don't look into it or really care about people's personal lives. But Oba confirmed that actually there was an interview that they did.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were promoting it. But I mean, there were a lot. And hey, if I didn't like Miles Bourne before, I mean, love the kid now. Kid's good for him. I mean,
Here's what I learned from this match. I learned that Obafemi has picked up the game so much that he's learned how to get his opponent over during the match.
Right.
It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
went over. Yeah.
Oba's a big dude, and that's hard to do with a big guy like that. And when he actually sold moves, had good facials, good facial expressions, sold for miles enough to where I can believe it, and that worked out good.
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool to see how good he is. I mean, because it's what we've talked about it before. Every match is going to have somebody that goes over, but if you can get both guys over during it, or somebody goes over, somebody gets over, but both of them got over with it. But for the fact of, I mean, that was Miles' Born coming out party. I mean, it's the cheap line is "A Star Is Born." It's kind of, I saw a lot of tweets with that, but that's exactly what this match should have been. We were talking about it in the chat yesterday during it when people were making their predictions, and it's like Oba's clearly winning, but Miles is going to make a great showing for himself. Like Miles is going to prove himself in that, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, now he's got to follow it up on his own, though.
100%, which I think he will, because he's been great, and they're clearly slowly breaking up the NQCC, and I think that'll end up leading to him and Dempsey having a feud, which will be great. Obafemi is another one of those people that's comes from the sports background. He was I forget, was it track and field at I think it was Alabama. Oh yeah, just put up Wikipedia. Yep, he was completed the track and field championships for the University of Alabama. So like the guy knows how to be coached, how to be trained. He's one of those ones where everyone's calling for him to come up and go up to the main roster right now. And while that would be great and cool to see, he's only had like 25 or 28, 30 matches. Like there's no rush, let him kind of go. Yeah, exactly. And he's young too. Like it's not maybe he's big, but he's only 27 and he just turned 27 last month. But he's got time.
Right now he's a heel.
Yeah.
So what you want to do with somebody in NXT is get them used to being a heel, seasoned.
Yeah.
Turn them babyface, get them used to that, seasoned, then move them up.
Yep. And then sometimes they'll even turn them again. Because first of all, I will personally give this match. This match is a good 3 stars for. I don't even go 3 1/4. Like this, I went 2 3/4 on this one. Yeah, no, I'll go 3 1/4 on this. I loved it, but because it was what it should have been, and it was just cool to see. And it's both guys. It's like, yeah, the future is good. The future is solid. They're set up well. But to lead into like the main event with Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry, Trick Williams is kind of that perfect fit of what you just talked about, except for when he first came in, he was a sidekick as a heel to Mello. And then he turned with Mello, and that turned him into a babyface. And he ran as like the biggest babyface of the promotion up until recently, where he has turned heel. Like he's kind of a tweener, but I mean, the stuff with Javon Evans and then how he's treated Joe Hendry and the stuff he said, he's working heel right now. And that's what they're doing. They're making, now he's not just being a sidekick heel, he's being a heel as himself and giving him more seasoning, because I would think once this feud ends, however it ends with him with the TNA thing, he's main roster bound. I think he's the one that goes. People are still saying that Oba should go up, but I think Oba needs another 6. Not needs, but would benefit from.
It's got to go through the same thing that they're doing the Trick. It's got to do the same pattern. It works,
and that's what worked for Braun Breaker too. I can remember for at least 6 months. I feel like almost a year. Everyone kept saying Breaker's got to go up now. Breaker's got to go up now. And they had him do that stuff with Corbin. They had him do full-on babyface stuff. They had him do different heel stuff. Like when he came up, it wasn't like we had to get him ready. Braun was like plug and play. Here we go. And look what it's done for him. And it's there's a reason they have that. They have the blueprint in place. And
yeah, Trick's definitely going to go up after, because now he's got a lot. They need people up there. They need men stars, because NXT women are just unbelievably great.
Right. Yeah.
And they need some men to step up, and they're getting. I'm happy with Trick. I love the progress, and they're going to do the same thing with Oba. And there you go.
Exactly. 100%. And I think that it worked out well. For that match, though, it was a great match. I thought Hendry looked great. I thought Hendry looked serious when he came out. I know people talking about boo-boo face or whatever. I don't think he had any of that. I thought he looked serious and ready to take on the fight. I didn't think there was a chance he was losing, and I was dead ass wrong. And I'm happy with that. I got no problem being wrong. Hey, I got Bronson Reed right. I got one right all weekend. I will take that W. That's good for me.
They're setting up.
Yeah,
so much stuff going on. Because when Santana said he wants to win her this match, you thought it was going to be Joe Hendry, and so did I.
Absolutely.
And now it's Trick Williams. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
And I mean, I know they're on a shitty channel with Access TV, but I feel like as many people wrestling, there's going to be a lot of eyes on TNA this week. Maybe not live on TV, but whatever they post on X, I feel like will maybe not go full viral, but a lot of people are going to be paying attention. I am definitely going to be watching TNA this week to see what happens.
I'm getting to think that people that have been saying that TNA is going to be moving to a different network, I think that's going to happen.
I agree. I've heard people say that. And then for some reason, and I don't think it's for some reason, I think people that can't get out of the mind of WWE bad and how they used to be think that this is WWE showing they're going to take over TNA, which makes no sense. Why would they do that? Like, it's a good partnership. They're doing it. Yeah. And we talked about it plenty of times where we talked about how it's great for the TNA talent to go, or the NXT talent to go work in TNA, work in a different arena, working with a different audience, work with different people, different coaches, different agents. It's just more experience, the better.
I'm wondering, Jake, if NXT working with TNA like they are, and they're having a good relationship with NXT being on the CW, do you think a Thursday night show on the CW is possible?
I mean, I would think that the CW would be all for that, simply because of how well.
I just thought of that, by the way.
No, it's a great call because NXT has done way better than they've expected it to, and they have to know that the next time NXT's renewal is up, even if they can keep them, it's gonna be like double, triple the cost. Like, WWE purposely gave them a sweetheart of a deal for the CW, because it was more about, we want to be on network TV. We want the exposure we're going to get here, and we're going to over deliver so that the next time it'll look great for us. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if they did that. At least, I mean, obviously just in the United States, because they actually are on a pretty big sports network in Canada. But I think that would be great. I think it would be great for them.
That's all speculation, by the way, people.
Oh, for sure.
I just threw that out there.
But it does seem like that's what TNA's goal is with a lot of this, is get as much exposure as they can, get their talent out there, make their shows exciting. Like, I mean, putting the title on Hendry like they did was smart as it were. And even now, like, he's still going to be massively over. He's going to somehow, even if he's not the first person to wrestle Trick for the belt, like, he will at least get a rematch. Or if Santana beats Trick, let's say, then it sets up Hendry and Santana or whatever. It'll be interesting.
Hendry's like the TNA version of LA Knight. Anything can happen. Anything can happen to him. It don't matter. He's always going to be over. It's fine.
Yeah. Speaking of LA Knight, did you see on Friday where Nick Aldis was talking about something on the screen, and then behind him there was like a mural that had been drawn, and it was LA Knight attacking John Cena with holding the belt. I don't know if that was foreshadowing from what might happen this summer, but especially if he's in the Money in the Bank, you could, if he makes it into it, I feel like they're going to do one of those like last chance matches for it. But just thought that was interesting.
So little time, so many possible matches.
And if that's what I whenever I praise Triple H, I always say the best thing that he does is he likes to have seeds planted everywhere, so that if you need to have this storyline, you've got it there. Or maybe we can put these guys in the back burner, but then they can reconnect here. Like, even with Trick and Joe Hendry, when Joe first made his run in NXT before he won the title, like 6 months ago or whatever, like, he was teaming with Trick. Like, Trick was all about, like, Trick kept putting Joe Hendry over. He's like, well, I'm just going to say his name so he can appear and have him show up. And they had like a couple of social media videos. They were doing the turn and everything. And then now Trick Williams is posting him doing the turn with the TNA belt saying, let's talk about it. Like,
this was my favorite. This was my favorite picture of the weekend, actually.
Yes, right. Like it really is awesome. Like, and talk about like physical charisma, like that right there is just like, yeah, that's a charismatic son of a bitch right there, ain't it? Like just, yeah, no, he's awesome. He's a lot of fun to watch, and you know, for me, that match was a solid. I'd probably say 2.75 just because the ending surprised me. I would have gone 2.5, but 2.75. I very much enjoyed it. The show as a whole, I thought was great. I really
my highest rating of the night was a 3 on this one.
All right, yeah, that was me for I went a little over with Miles and Oba, but talk about pacing the show well. Like this show kept building. You know, like it started off hot, and then it kind of had the little bit of not so much a lull, but the tag match, and then Tony and Stacks was a good grudge match and a good fight. The women's match was great and got the crowd hot. Obafemi and Miles over delivered, and then Trick Williams and Joe Hendry just had a charismatic, you know, who could be the most charismatic. Plus, it's not like Trick really won clean. Like he poked Hendry in the eye. He hit the move where he dropped Hendry onto the belt. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of meat on those bones, and this week should be very exciting. Starting with Raw tonight, and then NXT on Tuesday. I mean, Dynamite will happen on Wednesday, but whatever. And then TNA on Thursday and SmackDown on Friday. So, yeah, pretty damn exciting. I feel overall the weekend was fun.
Yeah, and we know Double or Nothing happened yesterday, but we're not going to review that.
I mean, yeah,
I can't do it, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I saw a few clips. Nothing enticed me, and like I live 30 to 40 minutes away from the arena that was held at. They keep saying Phoenix. It's Glendale. It's Glendale, Arizona. But there was nothing that enticed me to go. I have 2 friends that live much closer to that arena. They both randomly were able to obtain tickets the day of the show without much problem. I don't know what they paid or if they paid, but yeah, I mean, they had fun, but I know one of them left early, which we saw a lot of people leaving early.
A lot
on
of people
show.
Left early. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened. I mean, and if you want us to review it, pay me $50 and I'll review it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Or get us another 50 subscribers. We'll go in and review it right away. You know? Yeah. We got no problem. We are happy to appease if the crowd wants it. Please leave a comment, leave a dislike. I mean, hey, any interaction is fine. We enjoy it all. But no, I think for overall, it was a really fun weekend of wrestling. It set its weekend up here. And then with this weekend coming up, it's kind of a nice break because then the next weekend is the AAA NXT Worlds Collide in the afternoon, followed by Money in the Bank that evening. That's it's coming back to back to back.
It'll be fun, but all in all, keep tuned to the station for updates and new interviews and Sunday spaces and
that's what I was saying.
Stuff for us all.
Yep. I was just gonna say we appreciate everybody tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, and then join us this Sunday. We will be back on Sunday night spaces, 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard, or no, 8:05 p.m. Eastern. It's 5:05 for me. I live in Phoenix. 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Johnny Bottles from the SC Maniacs. If you haven't gone and checked those guys out, please do. We had Don on the show previously, and this will be good to have Johnny. Johnny, this should be a lot of fun. We'll talk. We'll have some questions. We'll open it up to any people that want to leave comments and give us a question. We're happy to. It'll be fun. All right. Well, is there anything else you got, George? Anything else we want to bring up today?
Nope. My notes are all checked off.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate you. We will catch you next time.